Hello, everybody. It's Dr. Rick dropping in on you. Hope everybody is having an unbelievable start to your week. Well, we're midweek now, but having a great week. Let's just say that. Remember what I always say, no matter where you're at, no matter how it's going right now, if you don't like what's going on, hold on tight, hang in there, steady yourself. If you're still breathing, you are still in the fight. Man, I'm excited. It is Wealth Building Wednesday, and this is a big month for Rick Wallace Enterprises and its subsidiaries, which I am just really elated. I have some things I've been holding close to the vest that I will be sharing with you in the coming weeks about what we're doing and how it's going to impact those who are connected to us and those who become connected to us in the work that we're doing. My goal is always, in some way or another, to impact people, to provide people with hope, but also provide them with mechanisms and resources to fulfill their hope. Hope isn't something you simply sit on. Hope is something that encourages you to move. And so, what I want to do is encourage you to move, provide you with the hope, but also provide you with the resources, the direction, the inspiration, and the will to move towards something. And so, I am consistently contributing and giving information and sharing and building mechanisms. And I'm excited where we're going. This has been a big, long transition for my company to get to where we are right now. And we're not over the hump yet, but I'm so excited because it's been a hard push. Look, check this out. Today is Wealth Building Wednesday. So I'm going to hit you with this, and then we're going to talk about something that's actually in the Path to Generational Wealth course. The discussion of the price of your dream and how to calculate the price of your dream and how to plan for it. But we're going to first of all talk about this. Look, you've been hearing me say for 2 years now that if you don't have at least 2 streams of income that you control, that you can't be fired from, that you can't be laid off from, that if you wake up every day and put into it, it's going to return to you, you need to sign up for the 7-day online business launch course. The course is online now, hours upon hours of lectures and me teaching the course, plus written content, more resources and videos to show you how to literally set up a business online and start generating revenue. Once you complete the course, you can do this in 7 days. I've gotten to the point to where I can do it in in some instances, an hour to 2 hours. I can set the whole thing up, but I've been doing it for 13 plus years. This is my blueprint that I use. This isn't something I just snatched out there and threw at you guys. This is me saying, look, this is how I've done it. This is how I've created and expanded my presence online to create multiple streams of revenue. And now I want you to take it. If you don't have at least 2 independent streams of revenue, independent, even if you are earning your primary source, you need 2 streams independent of that can hedge it. And this is this. Now, this course by itself is immensely powerful, but this is what I'm doing today. And today only, it expires tonight at 11:59. I'm going to throw in the Mind Unleashed course, which is a $600 course. I'm going to throw that in for free. I'm also going to give you my baby, the Path to Generational Wealth course. This is a $2,600 course. It's an 18-month course. It's comprehensive A to Z. We're just going to discuss one element in over, 50 modules? 50 modules, 8 sections, 18-month. And we're going to discuss just one portion of that today, which is really extremely important and what most people don't think about when they talk about their dreams and financial aspirations. They don't talk about or even understand the necessity for this, but we're going to talk about it today. But anyway, I'm going to throw this $2,600 course in free. I want you to have a mechanism to where you can create multiple streams of income that's going to protect you against any volatility that you may experience in the next 12 to 18 months. Also, I want you to have a course that's going to set you up to establish a financial process to where you grow and sustain yourself and build wealth and be able to pass down that wealth over the course of your life with the Path to Generational Wealth course. And the Mind Unleashed course is the mindset you're going to need to be able to follow through on this and continue until you achieve what it is you're striving for. All of that for just simply registering for the 7-day online business launch course. With that out of the way, let's talk. I talk to people all the time that discuss or share with me their dreams. I want to do this. I want to travel here. I want to own a home, X amount of square feet with this in it and that in it. I want to drive XYZ. I want to live over here. I already picked out my zip code. I already know all this. I want to do this. And it goes everywhere from a person that just simply says, I want to never have to worry about whether or not I can afford to pay a bill or not, to a person that wants their own private island. I've heard it all, and I have never in my life told anybody that their dreams were unrealistic. What I told them is that life will pay you whatever price you demand of it, but life always has a counter demand. When you tell life you want something, if it's good and it's not going to harm you or anyone else, life, God, the universe will not withhold it from you. This is the promise of God, that no good thing will be withheld. Then why don't I have it? It's because, number one, you have not prepared yourself for it. Number two, you have not cleared the vision. It says, write the vision and make it plain, so those who see it may run. You don't have a vision clear enough to set your course on fire. Your vision isn't clear enough to even inspire you. That's why you don't get up and work on it every day. When your vision isn't clear enough, you can too easily be distracted from the things that are going on in your life that seem urgent at the moment. When you don't have a clear vision, it's more important for you to work on this problem that's existing today, even though after today and you work on it, maybe tomorrow it's gone. And you've progressed nowhere, not one iota of an inch towards your vision. It's a distraction, because when I work on the vision, I'm going to find that a bunch of the things that I'm stressed out about simply fall off. As I pursue the vision, I become more capable. I become more aware. I become more experienced. I become more wise. I start to make better decisions. I start to make better moves. And certain things just simply fall off the plate. They weren't that important. They were just in front of me and had an immediate impact. And so I got caught up in the day instead of the destiny. And so it's extremely important to understand, while I need to be aware of what's going on today, I can't get caught up in it, because the day will pass. And if I'm caught up in the day, I'll be left behind. So what I need to do is be aware of what's going on and understand those things that absolutely have to be done, that absolutely are urgent, what my mind is telling me is urgent, and how much my vision is driving me. When my vision is clear, I understand where I need to be versus where I'm at. When the vision is clear, there's an emotional attachment to it. We are driven by our emotions at a level we do not understand, most of us. And what we realize is that our emotions are attached to perceived realities. So if I'm constantly caught up in a bad situation or a bad circumstance that's happening right now, my emotions are getting me tied to it, anchored to it, and I cannot see beyond it. Versus if I am anchored in a future outcome that I know is positive and that I know I have the capacity to achieve, then even the things I'm going through don't deck me, don't knock me out. They impact me because I feel and because I care. But if I get caught up in today and I don't prepare and move towards tomorrow, I get another day where I'm just caught up in the day. And what I end up in is a perpetual cycle of survival mode. I'm just trying to get through the day. How many times have you heard people say that? I'm just trying to get through the day. I'm just trying to. But see, here's the thing. When you have a sense of a vision, when you write the vision and you make it plain, that's why vision boards are so powerful, because it imprints an idea of something you don't have, but you've already established that you have. What did God tell Job? God says, look, I created you with the power to emulate me, not just in ideology, but in practice. And so therefore you shall declare a thing and it shall be established for you. When you speak, it says, what does Solomon say? There's power and death in the tongue. Speak life. There's power of life and death in the tongue. Speak life. So then what do we understand? We should declare a thing, it should be established. But now the thing that you got to understand is when you go back and read that, it's a statement of neutrality. What does that mean? It means it doesn't say when you declare a good thing, it shall be established. It says when you declare a thing. So if you're out there and your self-talk is a reflective of your circumstances, you are declaring negativity. You are declaring a negative outcome, and you are establishing it in your future. Your mind and your subconscious is surrounding it, and it's literally creating it in your behavior, in your decision making, in the people you're surrounding yourself with. Everything is culminating and becoming what you have said it would be. What did God say? Tell Moses to tell the children of Israel, tell them as they have spoken in my hearing, so shall I do to them. So you got to be real careful about that. So let's talk about it in a practical sense, an actual principle and practice. When I sit up and I create a vision for myself, I put a vision board on the wall. I write it in my journal. I establish this is where I'm going. The clearer the vision, the more emotionally charged I become by it. Look, God designed the mind, the human mind and the brain to be unable or incapable of distinguishing between what's being imagined and what's really happening. That's why they say perception is reality. Because if I perceive that it's happening in my mind, imagine it. If I can make it vivid, if I can make it true, if I can think of what it smells like, what it feels like, what it tastes like, what it looks like, and how it feels to be in it, the emotions that come out of that is because the brain starts to believe I'm doing it. Now I get anchored in that emotion. So every time I wake up in the morning, that emotion of what has not yet happened, but what I have already felt starts to move me towards it. That's why the Mind Unleashed course is so important, because it teaches you how to establish the right mindset, a mindset of gratitude, a mindset of expectation, a mindset of anticipation versus a mindset of, oh, whoa, it's me. Here's another horrible day in the life and times of. We've got to get out of that. But let's talk about principle practice and actual quantitative instrument of measurement. So when you sit up and say, I want to live this life, say, I want to live a life, I want a 8,000 square foot home, I want to drive a $150,000 car, I want to live out there. And everybody's thing ain't the same. And I'm going to tell you something, a lot of that stuff, this is from personal experience, that you think will make you happy and having doesn't. I don't care how much money you spend on a car. There's a point when it doesn't have the same drive. It starts to be just a car. Now, there are times somebody's going to give you a compliment on it. Somebody's going, ooh, are you? Or if you're a guy and a lady pulls up next to you and she's checking out the whip and everything, you get a little charge for a minute. But after that session is over, it's back to the idea that, especially if you haven't paid cash for it, which would not be wise when that car is going to devalue so rapidly once you purchase it. But so now you're paying either a lease or you're paying a car note on it to purchase it. And every month you got to pay that note. It gets old quick. I don't care if you have the money or not. It just gets old because you realize I'm pouring something into something I sit in to go one place or another. And the fact of the matter is I'm going to get one place or another any way I travel. I just decided I want to travel in luxury. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. But understand, at the end of the day, that's not going to be the source of your happiness. I can tell you that the square footage, if you're not careful, becomes a big old cavern of depression if it's not filled with love, if it's not filled with joy, if there's not a presence in it that is giving to you in a positive light. It's just a big space to remind you of the emptiness that you haven't filled because you're not living in your purpose. There's nothing like living in your purpose. So don't think that all these things are going, but it's nothing wrong with having them if you are doing what you need to be doing and you're doing it responsibly. You shouldn't be straining for anything. If you are, you need to ask yourself why. You need to figure it out. You need to work on it. You need to change it. So here's the thing though. Whatever that vision is, whether it's the island and the jet and all of that, or it's simply saying, I want a nice home in a nice, safe place where I don't have to worry about my safety and I never have to worry about a bill again. I want all my lifestyle covered in my passive income, because see, that's wealth. When I don't have to work for the income that supports me, that's wealth. So no matter where you're on that spectrum, there's a price for it. What is the price? You need to be able to sit down and calculate. If I want to live like this, how much does this cost? How much does that cost? How much does traveling to this place and that place and that place every year cost me annually? So what is the total cost overall? If I were to live, look at your life projection from where age at now, the average lifespan somewhere between 78 and 85. I'm telling you, people are living over that. So I always add 10 to 15 years. So let's say 95. Wherever you're at from now, calculate to 95. If you have some stuff left over, good. Pass it on down. Stop trying to hold on to the thing and suck everything. Pass some stuff down. That's a part of your responsibility. A wise man leaves an inheritance for his children's children. Now, this isn't just the bequeathment of wealth. This is the bequeathment of legacy. This is the bequeathment of ideas and values and principles and things that will govern and carry them and give them the power they need to succeed on their own. But it definitely includes financial and wealth bequeathment. So it says a wise man leaves an inheritance for his children's children. So it's not about you getting it all, living it all. It's about setting the path for the generation that follows you. So their path is more lit and more empowered than the one you inherited. That's the beauty of this thing. You're setting the path for generations of your offspring that you will not even live to see. That's the power of this thing, but you have to have a willingness to want to do this. So in that, I want to get you to understand that in the course, there's this worksheet that you sit up and you actually fill out. And you're like, okay, this is going to cost this. This is going to cost this. And you literally start to look at just how intricate of a map you need to achieve this financial goal that you have, this vague idea of, I want this. This is how I want my life to look. But then the more, and the beauty I like, the beauty of it that I see in it, that I absolutely love, is the more that I have to sit down and write, okay, this is what it's going to cost me. It also challenges me to see it. Because see, the thing is, when it tells me how much it's going to cost me, there has to be a vision in my mind that justifies the price. So now I'm looking, man, that's going to be cool. That's going to be dope. That's going to be awesome. Man, this is what's up. And you're looking at it, you're going, now there's something every morning waking me up, because I'm living in an anticipation of something that I'm creating in my activity, in my thinking, and in my anticipation of what's to come. So now I'm actually taking action, not based on a circumstance, but based on a projection. I understand the circumstance. It's there. It's real, and it needs to be dealt with, but it's not going to destroy you. But what you don't want is to end up 6 years from now, 10 years from now, 20 years from now, and not having made any progress and still doing the same thing. And that's because you got caught up in the moment. So what's the price of your dream? What's the price of your vision? What is it going to cost you to have this life that you say you want? Now, once you come up with a number, now you can sit down and we show you in the course how to calculate it. We give you over and over again all these different means and mechanisms through which you can start to create it and generate it. Now, here's this thing that I'm going to give you, and I say this all the time, and I want you to be very clear here. This is not a get-rich-quick scheme. This isn't, oh, I'm going to go home and sit down and say it 20 times and it's going to manifest and come into my life thing. Manifestation is real, but it's a process, and it travels through literally time and spheres of awareness and consciousness. So it moves from the 6th dimension all the way into the 3rd, 2nd, and 1st dimensions, where you can literally say it, touch it, experience it. But it starts with conceive it. When you are able to conceive it in your mind, that's God's evidence that it's possible, and it's the beginning of something. If you nurture the seed, your thoughts are the seeds of your destiny, depending on how you nurture and water them. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. As a man thinketh in his subconscious, so is he. So then you've got to have a clear vision. You've got to have an idea, but you need to be aware of the cost. It's real hard to plan for something when you don't know what you're planning for. And that's where the vast majority of people are out there saying, I want to live this life, but don't have a clue of where it is, what it looks like, how much it's going to cost them. So they're just striving, hoping one day that this thing that they really want somehow falls in their lap, because they're out there and they're grinding, they're working hard, but you don't have a plan. You don't have clear idea. One of the craziest things that happens, and it's so easy to do when you don't have a plan and you don't have a sense of direction, you don't have a sense of awareness of what it is you're really truly striving for. One of the easiest things to do, and I see it a lot, is to start striving and grinding in the wrong direction. I see people so frustrated, and I'm like, you're not even headed in the right direction. You're never going to get there. I don't care how hard you work. If it's in the east and you're going in the west, now if you're doing it in the sphere of the earth, eventually you'll get there because the earth is spherical. And if you go around, you'll come back around. But that's not how it's going. If I'm sitting up and it's that way and I'm going this way, I'm going the complete opposite direction of where it is. And I'm making the journey longer because now I have to come back roads I've already traveled to get back to where I am, where I was and where I'm trying to go, and then start all over again. You've got to stop. You've got to sit down. You've got to map this thing out. Where is it that I want to be next year? And that next year is going to be determined by where you want to be 5 years from now. There needs to be a vision. There needs to be an idea of what I want. What am I trying to get? What I want. Because see, when I know where I want from 5 years from now, I know where I need to be a year from now to be right on track to get there. But see, I need the clarity of vision. I need the clarity of idea, but I also need the clarity of cost. What is it going to cost me? See, I can have the clarity of vision, but don't have the clarity of cost. And I won't plan to be able to pay for and have available to me the resources to do what's necessary to get there. So I may be willing to do what's necessary, but if I can't afford to do it, it doesn't matter. But if I sit up and I plan, and there's so many different ways to do this, but I need to know what I'm planning for financially. You can talk about all the things in the world. Yes, if you invest in compound growth mechanisms like the S&P over the long haul, you're going to win. But here's the thing. How much do you invest? Well, that depends on when you want to reap a certain reward and how much that reward is. Because if I want to reap a reward of $10 million, and I want to reap that reward within 10 years, then I need a mechanism that will grow. And I need to know how much I need to put in monthly so that my 10% compounded growth on average produces the 10 million. What if that 10 million needs to be in 5 years? Well, then I need to know by literally sitting up and saying, this is where I want to be. Now, what if I want to do it in 20 years? Now you're talking more about long-term, reasonable play out. But there's a way to get to any of those numbers in shorter periods of time if you're willing to play the risk, if you're willing to make the sacrifices. Another thing is when I sit up and I know the plan, I know some of the things that I need to cut off or stop doing in order to put myself in a better position. A lot of the things that we're doing aren't necessary, especially when we're trying to get to it. We want it all now. So we play a lot as if we already have the dream. We out there just, living our best life now and don't realize for every $100 I spend on something to show that I'm having a ball now, that's $100 that could actually turn into $10,000 in 10 years. And then what happens what happens if something goes wrong with the source of income that you're using to spend this way indiscretionary, in an indiscretional way? So that is, again, the more awareness you have about this vision of yours, this financial dream or this life dream you have, where you want to live, what you want to drive, what you want to do, how you want to live with your spouse or your significant other, all these different things are so important to you, and there's nothing wrong with them. The thing is, you need to have a clear idea of what it's going to cost you. What is the price of your dream? And if you can't answer that, to a penny, doesn't mean that that's the only thing you shoot for, but that's the bare minimum I've got to do. And then you break that down. Well, if I've got to have this in 5 years to live this dream, because this is the time I want to really start living my dream. I got 5 years, I got 8 years, I got 10 years, whatever it is, depending on where you're at and what you're pushing for. Somebody's 20 saying, I want to retire at 40. You got 20 years. The problem is, I warn people about that, because when a person says I got 20 years, they tend to think, well, I got time. No, you need to start now. No matter what your goal is, no matter how far off the maturation date of your goal or your vision is, you need to start now. There is no empty time. You got 86,400 seconds in a day. What you do with that time, what you do with those seconds are going to determine the outcome of your life. We are wasting away time that we don't get back. And then we get frustrated when we get our backs up against the wall because we wasted our time. So again, you need to be very aware of what it is you're doing and how much time you need and where you're trying to go. So again, here we are. That's what I love about this course. This course is so comprehensive. It's so dope. It literally will force you to step back and look at things and realize if I work the plan, I'll see the results. Now, the thing is, this isn't a get rich quick scheme. So there's no magic potion that you're going to popularly do that. Now, that's some things you can go out and win a winning lotto ticket tomorrow. What are the chances of that actually happening? Statistically speaking, not very likely. Number two, if you don't have the right mindset mentally, if you don't have the right mindset and awareness financially, what are the chances that no matter how much you win, you end up back where you started? Statistics tells me it's extremely high. Most people who win the lottery end up broke again. Why? Because they never develop an understanding of money and how it works. They simply came across money. People who don't understand money, who come across money, mishandle money. People who understand money can lose it and get it back. There's a saying that says the average millionaire will go broke 3 times over the course of their life. Why? Because building and growing and expanding something that operates on its own that you're responsible for requires you to take risks. There is no such thing as investing without risk. So what am I saying? I'm saying that if you know the cost or the price of your dream, that's the starting point to be able to calculate what you need to be doing and when it needs to be done in increments. And that's how you're going to build out. So again, I hope that I shared something with you on this Wealth Building Wednesday. Again, I'm excited about what we're doing here and what's coming for Rick Wallace Enterprises and its subsidiaries like the Legacy Wealth Academy, the Visionetics Institute, Master Fitness 21, Odyssey Media Group and Publishing, Myriad Business Solutions, and others. Man, this has been a journey for me. I started rebuilding what broke and fell apart in 2010. I had to start over. And here I am 13 years later. And now I'm giving it back to you. So that 7-day online business launch course is the same blueprint I use to reestablish myself, to reestablish my brand, my business, and to create and expand my presence in commerce in the world, and to provide services and resources and impact the world and generate multiple streams of income. That is in this course, the 7-day online business launch course. Today only, until 11:59 tonight, you can not only get that course, but also get the Mind Unleashed courses, which is going to get your head right. Trust me, it's so much with that course. That's a $600 course. You're going to get that free, and you're going to get the big baby, my love, my passion, the Path to Generational Wealth course, 18-month course with over 50 modules, 8 sections. That's normally $2,600. You're going to get that free today. This is an unbelievable thing. And on that note, look, I am going to get ready to get out of here. I forgot to turn this phone off, so it's been going off. But anyway, I'm going to get ready to get out of here. As I always say, I live my life on full so that when I leave this place, I die on E. I challenge you to do the same thing. Now, as I get ready to get off, go to the description box, click the link, and register. You do not want to miss this opportunity. On that note, I'm out of here. You guys have an unbelievable remainder of your day.